Hello and welcome to Brandon Smith Rugby, and round 4 of the Guinness Six Nations is upon us. The first game of the weekend sees Italy hosting Wales at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. Wales, of course, will travel to Rome full of confidence, having won their first 3 games, claiming a triple crown against England a couple of weeks ago, while Italy will be looking to cause a massive shock in the tournament and win their first game of the campaign. Here is my preview of the match. As always, if you are new, do hit that subscribe button down below. The red box just there is free to do and helps you keep up to date with everything going on with the channel as we draw to the conclusion of this fantastic tournament. As always, I'm very eager to hear your thoughts in the comments, so let me know your predictions, your thoughts on the team, and how you think this game is going to pan out. Let me know in the comments down below. I read every comment and try and reply to as many as possible. Right, let's crack on with the preview. So before we look forward to the game, I like to look back and have a look at the history between the two sides and see really whether that history is going to impact how we view this game. This game really has been dominated by Wales over the past 20 years or so, since Italy came into the Six Nations back in 2000. The past 5 games between the two teams have also seen Wales win them all. Last time they met was in the Autumn Nations Cup back in October, as Wales won 38 points to 18 at Parc Scarlet. In the Six Nations of 2020, then Wales won that one 42 points, to 0 against the Italians. Then Italy at home, 15 points to 26 was a win for Wales. A very poor game. I remember that one quite well, but not for the best reasons. Back in 2018, then Wales won that one 38 points to 14, while then back in 2017, Wales won away 33 points to 7. So Wales have dominated over the past 5 years or so. And in fact, Italy have only ever beaten Wales twice. The most recent of that coming in 2007, as they beat Wales 23 points to 20 in the Stadio Flaminio, as it was back then. They actually finished 4th that year, having beaten Scotland as well. So that's probably their best showing in the tournament. If you want to know more about Italy and why I think they still deserve their place in the Six Nations, I did a special video on that, going in depth on the situation, link down below and also in the I button. Do go give that one a watch. Let's have a look at how both teams have done so far this Six Nations. Well, for Italy, we'll take a look at the home team first. Played 3, lost 3. First weekend, lost against France 10 points to 50. Then they travelled to Twickenham, losing that one 41 points to 18. And then 2 weeks ago, they lost against the Irish at home 10 points to 48. Of course, it's a very different story for Wales and for Welsh fans. Wales, 3 out of 3. Beat Ireland 21 points to 16 on the opening weekend, then travelled up to Murrayfield and won 25-24. Louis Rees-Zammit, absolutely incredible that day. And then, of course, 2 weeks ago, very controversially, you could say, beat the English 40 points to 24. So let's take a look at the 2 squads that have been picked for this match. Both teams have been announced, and we'll first of all take a look at the Italians. The Italians have named a decent squad for sure, and some players return, and we'll go through them right now. So starting at fullback, Jacopo Trullo starts at fullback with Matteo Bellini coming in on the wing, and Montagna Ione, who's been very impressive this tournament, plays on the wing. The centre partnership then is Ignacio Brex and Carlo Canna. At 10, Paolo Garbisi starts at 10. Stephen Varney returns at 9. Having got injured in the warm-up for that game against Ireland a couple of weeks ago. He's declared fit and starts at 9. More on him in just a minute. Looking then at the forward, starting with the front row, Danilo Fischetti then starts in the front pack with Luca Bigi at hooker, and Captain Giuseppe Zilocchi is in the front row as well. Nicolo Cannone comes in for his start of the tournament alongside David Ceci in the locks, and the back row is a very, very good back row in my opinion. Sebastian Negri, Johan Meyer and Michel Lamaro. Looking at the Wales team, very surprising that Pivac didn't make more changes, but he's for sure is looking to get that continuity to ensure that his team is as strong as possible and has that momentum going into the final game. So going from the fullback, Liam Williams starts at fullback with Louis Rees-Zammit and Josh Adams on the wings. Jonathan Davis and George North starts in the centres. Dan Biggar plays at 10. The first change then for this squad is Gareth Davis, who comes in for Kieran Hardy, who unfortunately is ruled out of the tournament after sustaining a hamstring injury. And what a performance it was against England, but unfortunately he is out. So Gareth Davis comes in for this one. In the front row, then you have Wyn Jones, Ken Owens and Thomas Francis. The other change then is Corey Hill, who comes into the starting lineup for Adam Beard, and he'll play alongside, of course, captain Alan Wynne-Jones. And then the back row, what a back row this has been this tournament: Josh Navidi, Justin Tipuric, and Talupe Faletau. So those are the both teams. As always, let me know your thoughts on the teams down in the comments below. The key battle for me is going to be the battle of the scrum. In the comments below, the key battle for me is going to be the battle of the scrum halves. I think this battle between Stephen Varney and Gareth Davies is really going to be very, very interesting. Stephen Varney, for me, has been a shining light for Italy during this year's competition. A quick, pacey scrum half who really takes the game by the scruff of the neck. If he senses an opportunity, he goes for it. I really felt like Italy missed his presence last week against Ireland. Callum Brayley just isn't quite at that level, in my opinion. And both the halfbacks, Garbisi and Varney, have a really good understanding, and they're so young. Varney's only 19, Garbisi, I think, is 21. They'll grow together, and that's the key for Italian success, in my opinion. But Stephen Varney will snipe around the breakdown. He will look to tap and go. He'll look to speed the game up. He's confident he'll go for things. And Wales will have to be very, very aware of that. Gareth Davies is a very different scrum half. He's not as quick as Varney, that's for sure, but he is very good at reading the game, very, very good at reading the game. He gets involved defensively, and for sure, he knows how to get an intercept. Remember that one against the Australians as well. It's a real shame that Kieran Hardy and Thomas Williams aren't available, but this is Gareth Davies' opportunity to really show what he can do, because he has dropped down the pecking order, if we're being totally honest. I think for Pivac, what we will see in this game, we'll get to my predictions shortly, but we will see a lot of change. I think Wales, if I'm being totally honest, will begin to pull away by the 50th or 60th minute, as we traditionally do against the Italians. And if we wrap up the bonus point early, you could expect to see some changes from the bench fairly quickly, with some exciting players who have definitely impressed over the course of the tournament. We're thinking of players such as Willis Halaholo, Callum Sheedy, have all impressed coming in off the bench. I think players such as Leon Brown has really impressed. Aaron Wainwright as well, maybe a little bit isolated away from the team at the minute, not really getting the game time that he want for his team, but he played for the Dragons last weekend as they beat the Ospreys, and so he's back on the bench. So how do I see this game one go back on the bench? So how do I see this game one going? Well, I think Italy will be competitive. They will look to play. That is something that they've done well. They've stuck to their style. And when you actually look at the stats look okay. The big issue for them is they're just not clinical enough. And defensively, they're very naive. Again, I've done an in-depth video on the Italians, really looking at stats, looking at where it's going wrong for them, where we're seeing some signs of improvement. Link down below. Do go watch it. So I really enjoyed making it, and it was a fascinating video to make. So I hope you guys check it out as well. But I do think Italy will be competitive for maybe the first half. But it just seems that when the opposite team score, their heads drop a little bit. And I think that's because such a young team, so little experience, and against a team so experienced as Wales is this week. I mean, Pivac just hasn't really changed much at all, has he? He's really gone for a team that is going to smash this Italian side. And I think our physicality is just going to be way too much for this Italian team. If we get quick ball, then I think we could absolutely destroy this Italian team, if I'm being totally honest. So I'm going to back Wales to get a bonus point win. I'm going to back us to win by at least 20 points. But I wouldn't be surprised if Italy have a few moments in the game that make you think, okay, this Italian team can certainly play and certainly deserve their place in this year's Six Nations. But there we go. That's my preview ahead of the game. As always, if you have enjoyed, do subscribe and let me know your predictions for this one down in the comments below. I will be doing a watch along for this game, of course, on the channel. So do join me from about 2 o'clock as we get ready to watch the game together. Going live, as I said, at 2 with kickoff at 2:15. There'll also be an England against France preview out later on the channel, Le Crunch. That's going to be a big one. So be ready for that by subscribing.